You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and I hope wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing pretty bloody magnificently well. The bloke you're about to hear from, he is from a band called Red Sun Rising. His name is Mike Protich, and he's the band's frontman. Red Sun Rising have a brand new album out on the 30th of March called Thread. We talk all about that. In fact, that's the reason for the chat. So why don't we cut to it? Here he is, Mike from the band Red Sun Rising. Mike, I had a really good listen to the album, which is called Thread, and I'm hearing Muse, Alice in Chains, The Killers, but mate, in your own words, how would you describe the music that you've collated for release on the album Thread?
I think that's why we called it Thread, is because, the whole idea behind Thread is that, we're a band that we don't like to be pigeonholed to a genre or a writing style. We like to try to take all of our influences from different genres and different styles of music and kind of thread it together. And that's kind of where Thread came from. And so Thread is more than just the name of the record. It's actually kind of our genre of music in a way, or our style of music. So I think the best way to describe it is just that it's, it's a little piece of everybody's influences just kind of bleeding into the sound. And that's when you hear it. It's kind of hard to describe music, I guess, but there's definitely a lot of influences that went into making the sound of that record.
Wonderful. So you are 2 albums into your career. Would you say that Thread is the definitive Red Sun Rising album?
That's hard to say. I mean, we're proud of all of our records. Songs are like children. You write the song, you release the song into the world, and hope people accept it and take it in and make it their own. So I think every record is a definitive record of Red Sun Rising. The last record was our definitive record until this one, and I think that's what keeps the band going.
Yes, indeed. Now, you're about to go out on tour, I've just read, with Godsmack, Shine Down and a few other bands. So you must be excited about that one there, because there should be a couple of thousand punters in each audience when you're performing, and they're going to be hearing Thread for the first time, I take it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're actually on our headline tour right now, just playing some clubs to our fans, which is, they're hearing Thread for the first time live as well, and the reaction has been phenomenal. And the songs that we've already released, people are already singing those back, and that feels really good. So we're really confident going into a bigger tour like that, the people that are really going to enjoy the new songs.
Who was the production team on the album?
Say that one more time.
Who was the production team on the album? So who was the album's producer?
Oh, the producer was Matt Hyde.
Oh, nice. Okay, yes. Actually, I can hear that now that you mention it. Okay. Yeah, it's got some grit through it. It sounds great. I actually judge the quality of a sound recording on how it comes through iPhone speakers without having the headphones on. So, the shitty little speakers you get with the iPhone. And yours just comes out at a mile a minute, mate. It's phenomenal stuff, the sound that he's managed to achieve. But also, I think your engineer there deserves some credit as well.
Yeah, thanks. And, the biggest thing I think with the way we tracked it is that we tracked a lot of it live. And, there's no studio tricks. That's the band playing the songs. And I think that's a huge difference. And I think that's the one thing that's really missing a lot from music. There's plenty of bands that still play live, and there's plenty of bands that play their own tracks, but there's plenty of bands that doctor it all up, and I think that starts to get compressed, and the song just suffers from that. So we wanted to go for that more live sound, and I think Matt really captured that.
Yeah, I agree, totally. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, because it does sound like it was recorded live, and it's nice to hear that it was recorded, if you like, as the band were playing it in a room together. So what were the challenges in trying to recreate the sound that you might perform live for the record, or were there any challenges? Did it just happen seamlessly?
I think all the challenges happened before the recording process. There was plenty of times where we took time off the road, and the first time we did it, we actually rented or just occupied a cabin in the middle of the woods, and the band lived together for 2 weeks. And we just played these new ideas together, and that's where a lot of the hashing out happened, where, each band member had to kind of discover what their strengths were and focus on those strengths in the songwriting. And that's where we really started to come together. But by the time, doing a couple sessions like that, by the time we got to the studio, it just flowed because everyone knew what they were going to do. And then we could just focus on the fun stuff because we had the songs down. Then we could focus on the fun stuff that we wanted to add to it and the way the textures and the colors we wanted to bring to it.
Talking about textures and colours, that album cover's quite something. Tell us about that. What was the inspiration for that?
Well, I think it describes us in a lot of ways. We're one of those bands that we don't take ourselves seriously, but we take our art very seriously. So if you look at it very quickly, you see sunflowers and you see something bright and fun, and that's what we are. But then if you look closer, you see those darker elements that are there.
Indeed, yeah.
So kind of the juxtaposition of the juxtaposition of those two elements, I think, kind of describes the way we are as a band and as people.
So who designed the album concept? Is that your work? Album cover, sorry, the artwork concept.
So the band...
Yep.
Right, yeah, the actual vision for it was coming from the band, and we got together with an artist and we went back and forth and gave him our vision, and he just started to bring it to life, and we started tweaking it and telling him, yes, we like that, no, we don't like that, and go this direction until we finally honed in on the final product, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, no, justifiably so. So, Australia, tell me about your relationship with fans and the audience down here. Do you get much feedback over social media from fans down here wanting you to come down and perform?
Yeah, we actually, especially as of late, I feel like in the last, I want to say 6 months, we've seen an influx of Australian followers and fans commenting and asking to come to Australia. And that's exciting, because we've never been to Australia. We don't know, we don't know what that music scene is like. And,
yeah.
That's exciting. That's really special to see that.
Well, there's enough AC/DC in your sound, I think, that you go down really well in the pubs and clubs of the pubs and clubs in Australia. That's for sure. And I think that's what I heard too, because I heard when I say Muse, some of the arrangements sounded a bit like a Muse thing, but I really heard an Alice in Chains AC/DC thing going on in the way that the riffs were put together, the types of riffs that you're introducing. And I think that's why you go down very well in Australia.
That's great to hear.
You've got nine music videos out there, so that's a very important part of the visual aspect of the band is obviously very important. So can you tell us about that?
The videos?
Yeah, you got 9 videos in market.
Yeah, I think the videos are just it's a new age way of getting your sound out there, and I think they're really important. And I remember when I first started in this band, when me and Ryan first started the band years ago, videos weren't as big, and it's funny how important they've become in this more digital age that we're in. So we like to concentrate on our videos and not only write great music, but we want to write, and great visuals for our music, because we just believe in the whole art in general. And so we don't want to just be musicians, but we want to be artists as well. And the videos have allowed us to do just that.
So you mentioned Ryan in your conversation then. So Ryan Williams and yourself have been the mainstays in the band since the inception. So you've had Dave, Ricky and Pat come on board since 2015. So would you say that you've acquired these people through natural attrition, or has it been a case of bringing in new musicians when you've wanted to make and create a different kind of sound?
It's been natural, which we're thankful for, because all the guys that are in the band now, which have been the most permanent members since the band existed, Ryan and I have known them for years. They've either toured in other bands with us, or they've just been friends of ours from back home. So when a spot would open up, like a guy would leave the band, and people leave for different reasons. Some people have family issues. Some people just touring that much wasn't for them. People leave over the years. But every time there was a new opening, we grabbed somebody that we knew, trusted, and wanted to be with. And I think that's the beauty of the band, is that we're actual friends. We didn't bring in studio guys or anything like that. We brought in friends of ours that we like to play music with, and that's why it works.
Yeah. I mean, you've achieved quite a lot, because people probably don't know that both your singles from your first album, The Other Side and Emotionless, both reached #1 on the mainstream rock chart, and that was only the second time since Trapped had done it on their first album. So, I mean, when you look back and you think about the work that you've done together, you must feel an enormous sense of pride.
Oh, absolutely. And, every night, even those songs that we've played 100 times now, when you go out in front of a new crowd and that crowd sings the song back to you, it just breathes new life into the song every time. And, we're extremely proud. And, the fans, keep that excitement for those songs going for us.
Yep. Just final question. When do you think you'll be coming down to Australia, or is it even on the radar?
Well, that's why we need you. You got to make it famous down there.
The problem I've got is that I host a podcast series, and most of my listenership is actually in your part of the world, in North America. That's the irony of it all. I don't know how it's happened, but it just has happened that way. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be doing my bit. That's for sure. Oh, well.
Yeah, we would love to come to Australia. I actually have some cousins in Australia that I've never met, so I would love to meet them and play in Australia.
Oh, nice. What city are they in?
What's that again?
What city or state are they in?
Oh, I think they're some are in Melbourne and some are in Perth.
Okay. Yep. Pretty far away from each other then. About 4,000 k's between them, if that's the case.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, mate. Thank you so much for the chat. To your point, I'll certainly be doing what I can for you through the podcast series. I'll be posting that later. That is it. That was my discussion with Mike Protich, the frontman of Red Sun Rising, who have a new album out called Thread. Hope you enjoyed that one. My name's Andrew Mackay-Smith, and you've been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast. Until next time, you make sure you take care of yourselves now. You just make sure you do that. Tune in again. Thank you. Bye.